Hi folks, welcome to Inventables. This is the app called Easle, and this is Inventables' solution to making 3D modeling and 3D creation really simple. And what this works with is a machine called a 3D carver. And it's a CNC machine, and basically what it does is it's got a router, which you may have used down in the wood shop, that goes back and forth and side to side on the X and Y axis. And it zips all over the desk basically, and it carves something out. Now it also has a Z-axis. The Z-axis is up and down, so you can tell it how deep you want to carve into the wood. And it does this by making a whole bunch of passes, and it goes over the wood several times, and it just takes a little bit every time it goes over your carving, and it makes it deeper and deeper each time until it gets to the depth that you told it to be. Now Easle has a whole bunch of different projects you've already checked out up here under projects, but in addition to that, we're going to actually use Easle today. There's a lot of software that does this. This is probably the most simple one I've ever seen, which is why we're going to use it. We're going to launch the app. You've already clicked on Easle up on top. Click on launch the app, and it's going to start this app. I've already gotten several of these that I've built already, but I'm just going to show you the basics of how this is going to work. If I want a new app, I can go up to File, I can get a new from Demo or open one I already have, rename one. I'm just going to start one from here. You can zoom in and zoom out over here. You can also use your mouse on the side and hold down the little wheel. You can hold down the control button, and you can zoom in and out. You can change this over here. What this is actually the board that is going to be carved. Now I have it set so my x-axis from side to side, so from side to side on the board, is 12 inches. I have mine to be 8 inches tall. That's what I'd like you to set yours at. I also have the Z-axis, which is how thick the board is, to be 1/2 inch tall. That's just what it starts at. You can make that whatever you want. In our case, let's leave it 1/2 inch, which is 0.5. Up here, the bit size. This is which of these are going to carve out my design. I'm just going to choose a 1/8 inch bit. And the material is very important. We're just going to use this soft maple here, soft maple. And once you've chosen that, it changes the design just a little bit. When you click off to the side, that main window goes away. But the reason you can choose the material is if it's a harder material, the machine has to go a little slower when it carves out your design. And so that's why you're choosing all of these things. What I want you to do is make a design over here. You'll see it come up on this side. So we click on text, and I click on any of these that I want. These are just the different fonts, and it says text. I can change this, just click inside of the box and change it to my desk. Okay? And you can see that it came up over on this board. If I grab the side of this, so I can click back on it, click off of it, and click back on it, I can make that bigger. Just grab a dot and grab it bigger. And again, I've told you this before, but I don't usually grab these dots on the sides. I only grab the ones in the corners because it has a tendency to squish or stretch out your words, unless of course that's what you're going for. You can see over here, that's what my design will look like after I carve into this wood. I could carve all the way through if I wanted to, and you'll see as I drag this down, this is the depth of my carving. I just went through the entire piece of wood. I can make it so it's just faintly touching the wood. I'm only a 1/16 of an inch into the wood at this point. 1/4 of an inch is actually pretty deep, especially if it's a 1/2 inch thick in total. You're halfway through the board at this point. You can see some red spots coming up. That's because we're using a 1/4 of an 1/8 of an inch bit, and some of those spots are not going to really get carved in as well as we might want them to be. Okay? And so that excuse me, that is why there's red spots. It's telling me that may miss some spots as I carve because I'm using a larger bit. So far I've just put words in here. I can also make it so it does the outline rather than cutting out the entire thing, or I can do the fill and it will cut out the entire inside, or the fill color. You might think of that from other things that we've done. You can do the shape, so you can change the position of where this is going to be. You can change the width, the height, the angle of the rotation. We're not going to worry about that right now. If I wanted to spin this so the design was going up and down, that's where I would change that. The next thing I want to show you is you can go all the way up here to icons, and you can choose from the icons that they already have. And so if I just want to put a nice mustache on my design, I just click on it. It's going to give you the mustache. Again, you grab the design, you move it around. You can change the order by going up to edit, and I can send it backwards or send it to the back. So now it's behind my words. I can make it so that cuts deeper and my words won't cut as deep. It's saying that the carved bit is too large because when it gets into these pointy spots on the mustache, that it's not going to work really well. Don't worry about this little warning box because we can change the bit. We can make adjustments later on. Okay? I want you to play around with these different shapes that you can do. I also want you to play around with the icons that you can use, as well as you could go up here and look at the apps. For example, if I was making some wings and I was making a balsa wood airplane, I could make the wings here. I could make gears, and these gears, you can change the size of those gears and they'll actually work together. If you put a screw in the middle and attach them onto a board, this gear would work with another gear even of a different size. Okay, there's all sorts of different things you can do, including make a puzzle. And so explore Inventable's program called Easle, which helps you design 3D carving.